All right, it's Foia Friday. It's Friday at 4. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's get down. Let's boogie with some freedom of information. I think this song's as good as the Vegan World Radio. Yeah.
I don't think it's as good, but it's all right.
It's all right. I think it gets me going. It makes me happy to talk about FOIAs. All right, it's Crystal Heath and Skyjack Morgan ready to rock and roll for the freedom of information. Well, I'm happy to see you, Crystal. I've been thinking a lot about FOIAs lately, and I've been thinking a lot about the freedom of information. A lot, actually, more than you know. More than you know. Yeah.
More than I know. How so?
This week, I've been thinking a lot about FOIAs. I always think about them, but this week I've been thinking more about them.
Anything in particular you'd like to share about that?
Yeah, I was actually having so I'm on this. Okay, first of all, the fact that so many people in the news this week, you and I on Wednesday were going over the farm, the agriculture and the Secretary of Agriculture and the USDA and a bunch of governors and a bunch of people were giving speeches about things that I care about, like the corruption involving USDA and JBS and SEC and JBS and Smithfield. Smithfield. Yeah, I think
Chinese government buying all our land and our supply chains and our genetics and everything. Yeah.
Right. The Chinese government is buying our supply chains, buying up land near bases, stealing seeds, spies stealing seeds. We think of spies stealing other secrets. I don't want to. It's funny because someone in the chat last week, or I'm sorry, on Wednesday, was saying like, "Oh, well, you're belittling what's going on with the seed." No, I'm actually fascinated by the fact that they're stealing seeds. I think that's something that wasn't on my radar, and now it is. And my point of why that intersects with FOIA is because I've been writing FOIAs about this, and now the people like Brooke Rollins and Huckabee Sanders and some other names that I don't have at the top of my dome. Now that so many of them are talking about this stuff, I feel like I can FOIA it even more. That means they are definitely emailing about the stuff that I care about, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully we can get those in emails and we can find this out.
Yeah. So I want to know what they're doing, and maybe it won't be that fast, but they are definitely having conversations about the stuff that I did a FOIA a while back from the Homeland Security and the DOD, and it came up nothing. Well, now, and they denied about Smithfield. Well, now I know they're talking about Smithfield within the last 6 months. So
yeah,
I should be able to FOIA something far more recent, because their excuse last time was like, that's water under the bridge, that Smithfield stuff. That was so long ago. It's onerous for us to try to find out what.
Well, you would think leading up to this, there would have been communications about Smithfield and stuff, but
leading up to what we saw on Wednesday. Yeah, I think for sure. But the stuff that I asked for with Smithfield before was about the purchase. The purchase happened something like 10 or 12 years ago. So that was a little while ago. And I wanted to know if there was any DOD emails and discussions 10 years ago when the Chinese government bought Smithfield. And they wouldn't give it to me. But how could they deny that it exists today in the last 6 months? There was something. So I'm excited. What's the topic? We're talking about the freedom of information, and we're trying to figure out how every Friday, if you're just coming in, if it's your first time being here, Crystal and I meet, we talk about how we are exercising our rights under the Freedom of Information Act to get info on the company's interactions with our government and uncover pretty obvious corruption, I think.
Why aren't we streaming on Twitter? What happened here? What's going on? Hold on.
No, we got to get on.
Please. Let me fill the dead air while I add this to Twitter.
Well, I'd be happy to, because there's something that I'm also so because of that stuff that I was thinking about, I got in with ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT about other groundbreaking, successful FOIAs. That was what I was trying to find out.
Yeah.
right? Because I'm like, okay, well, I think this stuff is already pretty groundbreaking, some of the stuff that we've already found out. So let's find out who was successful in the past, and maybe that can help guide us in the future. What do you think? Do you think, let's learn from our progenitors, right? FOIA isn't an ancient thing. We've only had it for a few years, really, maybe a decade or so. We've had FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act. And now the first one they said was the FOIA was CIA's MK Ultra program was uncovered by FOIA.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about that, but of course it sparked Senate hearings, the church committees, new intelligent oversights, and widespread mistrust of the CIA. Now, of course, if you don't know what MK Ultra was, it's pretty famous. The CIA was giving LSD, doing hypnosis experiments, sensory deprivation, and torture on people and soldiers and all sorts of different to manipulate mental states back in the 70s. They were doing really.
They might have created Charles Manson if you go deep enough. That might have been a thing.
MK Ultra, yeah. So it might have been a thing. We're not totally sure, but what it does creates mistrust in this institution called the CIA. And as a practicing, I believe that we should organize but mistrust institutions. Organization, not institution. And that's if a FOIA just does that, I think that's a win for the people.
Yeah. And the great thing about FOIA is if you have the ability to shit post, you have the ability to FOIA. And so maybe you should use your skills wisely. That's FOIA instead of shit post.
FOIA instead of shit post. I like that. Why don't we put that on a t-shirt, Crystal? FOIA instead of shit post. Maybe I put a couple
FOIA, not shit post. Yeah.
Or how about shit post? How about FOIA is greater than shit post?
FOIA greater than trolling. Yeah.
FOIA greater than trolling. Something like that.
But trolls, we appreciate your engagement. So
I do like trolls.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for elevating our content.
Yes, we always appreciate you. Yes. I think that it's important to look into what your government's doing. And so I think they'd only give me 5 or 6. Do you want me to just go through them really fast? They're kind of fun.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Of successful FOIAs of the past. So number 2 was a big one, a defining feature in my life, I think, because I had been marching. I lived in Germany when the war in Iraq broke out. And it was the first anti-war protest I ever went to was against the war in Iraq, because I didn't believe, rightfully, that we had WMDs there. But the ACLU did a FOIA request in 2004. Now, remember, in 2005, I moved back to the United States, and there was this really famous art exhibit that happened about Abu Ghraib. And that was something that it shook the earth, because it showed how Americans were torturing people who had not had any kind of real due process. They were enemy combatants, but they were detainees, which meant that they hadn't had any kind of they hadn't been proven guilty of anything, and they were being treated in ways that I think belied the end of the idea of American exceptionalism. As far as I was concerned, there were documents and images detailing the torture and abuse of detainees by United States military personnel in Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one hurt. The photos were just, and that came out because ACLU had a FOIA request at the Department of Defense.
That's a good one, man. Yeah. Got him.
It got him, nailed him. It led to court martials, dramatically undermined U.S. credibility during the Iraq War. It really did, because we were already we were an occupying force, and we're the good guys, right? Don't worry, we're the liberators. We're the good guys. Aren't you happy we got rid of Saddam Hussein? And no, Abu Ghraib comes out. That was a rough one, man. I think every American was a little hurt by that one. All right, number 3 was FBI surveillance of activists.
Oh wow, really? Number 3?
Yeah. So
that's incredible.
FOIA helped uncover COINTELPRO, an FBI surveillance and disruption program targeting civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and groups like the Black Panthers and American Indian Movement, of like Leonard Peltier and the American Indian Movement at Alcatraz and all that, showed how the U.S. government treated dissent as a threat it led to reforms and exposed deep-rooted state repression. That's pretty I don't know. That one,
it's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like that one is so funny to me because I feel like I grew up already knowing that J. Edgar Hoover kept tabs on everybody, you know, kept tabs on MLK, kept tabs on the animal rights people, to, you know, but FOIA is what gave us the actual documents, and now we know what COINTELPRO was. It was their and the fact that they treated dissent as a threat, which is antithetical and un-American.
I mean, that's my first introduction to FOIA, was when somebody sent me a FOIA document with my name saying, like, I thought you'd be interested in this. And it's like the USDA Agriculture Marketing Service, you know, through the what's the agriculture, the Animal Agriculture Alliance, talking about me to people, members of the USDA Agriculture Marketing Service through the Pork Board, which is publicly funded. So basically, publicly funded organization is spreading misinformation about me,
about you,
and basically, trying to figure out how they're going to discredit me for my advocacy.
You know what's funny about that, Crystal, is that every day I do my show and we do this show, and I can read the chat, you know, and people are so into the bootlicking part, and it's really weird to me that they're like, the government is not your pal, you know, you're supposed to hold them accountable. And FOIA wasn't a thing that was like given to us as a gift. People had to fight for it, the freedom of information. And now that we have it, we consistently uncover things that the government's doing that we should know about and fight. And that they're targeting people who are doing it. Like, you're allowed to do it, but the government will target you if you are. The government will target you if you're
they want us to take away our rights, and we're seeing that.
Away our rights. Yes.
Now, like, does the government have the right to take away the rights of people who are here in this country paying taxes? And no. Do they have the right to, like, discredit and smear and deny opportunities to people because they disagree with the government policies?
No, and very much, you know, it's similar to Abu Ghraib, where they're doing stuff that we all kind of agree is not what we're all about. And that's the same thing, isn't it? Like, you know, torturing people and also keeping tabs on MLK and calling him a great threat to America. To me, those, or Crystal, Heath, or anybody who's having a dissenting or unpopular opinion, that's something that we think America doesn't do. But we keep on finding out over and over again they do.
Yeah. Well, I think my opinion is popular, but it is dissenting. So there you go.
Maybe unpopular with the power structure, with the people in power. Yeah.
Unpopular with corporate interests, for sure.
Unpopular with my opinions are unpopular with people who are corporate overlords and billionaires, for sure. Yes. Absolutely. And it's someone said isn't this a rather myopic view? Actually, I think it's not a myopic view at all. Like,
what's the opposite of myopic? It is, in fact,
farsighted, I guess. I don't know what the myopic is. Nearsighted. I don't know what farsighted would be.
Now we're gonna have to chat GPT that.
Just how this. What's the opposite of myopic?
What is the opposite of myopic?
Farsighted. It's just the word farsighted. It gives it one word. Yeah. There's no fun.
What's the there's got to be a what's the medical term?
It literally just gave me one. Google gave me one word: farsighted. Just one word is the opposite. But if you can find a better one, let me know.
Hyperopia. No, it's hyperoptic.
Hyperopia. I'm hyperoptic.
Hyperopia.
I'm hyperoptic. Yes, that's. I got my eyes peeled like bananas. I got my eyes peeled like 2 peeled grapes. All right, so the next one you'll like. Okay, so number 3 was FBI surveillance of activists. Number 4 was animal agriculture's environmental damage. what was revealed was groups like the Environmental Working Group and Food and Water Watch have used FOIA to expose how the USDA and EPA have failed to regulate pollution from CAFOs, concentrated animal feeding operations, and how these operations receive massive subsidies while contributing to air and water contamination. It laid the groundwork for campaigns against factory farming and efforts to reform the Farm Bill.
Just right after MLK is our people. That's awesome.
Yeah, right? It's not bad. Yeah, right up. Those are our guys. They're trying to stick it to the corporate interests of these CAFOs. And although you always say that I shouldn't use CAFO because it's animal rights talk, but
no, CAFO, well, CAFO is fine because that's an industry terminology. I say don't use the word factory farm. But I think a lot of people don't know what CAFO is. So, the long form industry terminology is modern intensive animal agriculture.
Right.
I don't like the term animal agriculture, so I call it animal-based protein production. So to like really put the finger on it, because agriculture has this kind of somewhat positive connotations. So anyway, just I say modern intensive animal-based protein production, which is a bit long. I get it.
It is. How about just concentrated animal feed operation might be okay. I don't know. We could just say it the long way, like the giant, massive 100,000 head. I saw this.
Are they really just feeding the animals though?
No, they aren't.
And so that's
animal concentration camps. You like that one? All right. No, you don't like that one. I like that one though.
We're not camping, are we? We're not like out there. I don't know. Camps also has a bit of a positive connotation.
Except when you put the word concentration in front of it, I think it ruins the other side. The word concentration outweighs the word camp, maybe. I guess like it looks like Project Cloverleaf, weather and geoengineering manipulation often disguised as climate intervention language. Interesting. You write these requests all day. Nikola Tesla remnant.
Let's see your results. I want to see your documents.
I will want to see
the documents in the chat.
Welcome to FOIA Friday. Please give us links to the documents. We'd love to see your FOIAs. Love to see what you're uncovering. All right, there's just a couple more. Animal agriculture. Number 5 was secret drone kill list. The ACLU had FOIA litigation by ACLU in the New York Times. Uncovered documents about the legal rationale for drone strikes. Killing Anwar al-Awlaki in Yemen, if you remember that. That was FOIA. Yeah, I remember that happening.
So many stories I didn't realize were FOIA. That's
crazy, right?
Like all major news stories are FOIA, and this is what we're doing here.
Yeah, that was great. Barack Obama, right? He killed those guys with the drone strikes, and I think Anwar al-Awlaki was a U.S. citizen who was abroad in Yemen, got killed by Barack Obama's drone strikes. Toxic contamination at military sites, the Department of Defense's role in PFAS, the forever chemicals, hundreds of military bases threatening public health and water safety. This is something that I had no idea about until recently. I had no idea ×2 that it was a FOIA request. It forced the cleanup efforts and new legislation around PFAS disclosure and water testing. Kind of cool. And the last one, I think you'll like. The last one, number 7, was meat industry influence on public health guidelines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. I thought that was good. FOIA requests by animal protection and nutrition advocacy groups have exposed correspondence between meat and dairy lobbyists and USDA and Department of Health and Human Services officials showing efforts to manipulate dietary guidelines for Americans. They undermined the credibility of science-based nutrition policy and inspired calls for depoliticizing public health. I think that is, honestly, if RFK Jr. could do that one thing, it's so funny because, I'm such a sucker. I understand why Trump has this cult, because he says everything to everybody, and if you're listening, you can hear something that speaks to you. Like, we're going to stop animal testing. Do you remember a little while ago? I was like,
this little argument for intersectionality right here. Trump's dystopian intersectionality.
Yes,
the success of the dystopian intersectional movement of Trump.
He's right. It worked.
I could write an essay.
be a good essay. Maybe intersectionality is how you get everyone on your team and you create a cult.
Dystopian intersectionality of Trump. I could see it now. I could see this.
Crystal, yeah, you're right. I think I could see it. I think it'd be great. It'd be great. Okay, but this whole thing about RFK Jr. wants to make America health again and all that. Well, the USDA should not have anything, zero to do with our health guidelines. It should have nothing to do with it because the USDA, its job has nothing to do with health. Department of Health and Human Services and the Surgeon General are the only ones that should have anything to do with it. Department of Health and Human Services shouldn't have any money coming their way to change the guidelines for our health. Like, it really is. Yeah. I think that is one of the big issues facing us in the next 10 years, maybe the next 20 years. And if RFK Jr. could successfully do that, like, it's funny because there's, again, I'm a sucker, man. I can feel myself getting suckered in by people like Donald Trump and RFK Jr. because sometimes I think, well, why don't we just get rid of the NIH? How many animals has NIH tortured? How corrupt are they? Maybe we should burn it down and start over. Maybe we should burn down the USDA and start. You know what I mean? Like,
Yet, shall we transition to my first topic of the day, which is a good dovetail? But yet, Donald Trump is suing California over our animal welfare laws.
Yeah.
I can pull this up right now.
Yeah, Donald Trump's going to sue. This is what I mean. Crystal, it's like if he says everything, then somebody is going to hear good stuff, and then right behind your back, it's like
people are going to simp for Donald Trump, and meanwhile,
and I get it. I understand why they have Trump derangement syndrome, why they are so delusional. I get it. I understand.
I have somebody who stalks my Facebook and keeps telling me how Trump is a hero for the animals, and keeps messaging me over and over again, even though I don't respond. But I thank him for his engagement. So Trump sues California over egg prices and blames animal welfare laws. The lawsuit filed in federal court on Wednesday challenges voters' initiatives that passed in 2018 and 2008. They require all eggs sold in California to come from cage-free hens. The Trump administration says the law imposes burdensome red tape on the production of eggs and egg products across the country because of the state's outsized role in the national economy. It is one thing if California passes laws that affect its own state. It's another when those laws affect other states in violation of the U.S. Constitution, says U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins in a statement Thursday.
They love the Constitution now. I love that. They got that pesky thing. I thought we got rid of the Constitution, that pesky old document.
Yeah. So here's the key points of the lawsuit. The defendants are the state of California, Governor Gavin Newsom, and various state officials. The U.S. government claims California egg laws regulating the sale of eggs, particularly Proposition 12 and AB 1437, are preempted by the Federal Egg Products Inspection Act, the EPIA, and thus violate the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution. California laws impose animal welfare and egg production standards like cage-free housing and space requirements on all eggs sold in the state, even if produced out of state. EPIA preempts state-level standards that are in addition to or different from federal standards and concerning quality, condition, labeling, or packaging of eggs. California laws drive up egg prices and reduce consumer welfare without scientifically supported health or safety benefits.
Hold on. Let's get this into humanese real fast. Okay, so we're saying that the Supremacy Clause is something that I've always had a little bit of a worried eye on, especially with Prop 12, because Prop 12 seemed like it was limiting interstate commerce, which falls under the jurisdiction of the federal government, not the California government. But the Supreme Court says that it doesn't because it's not discriminatory. It's the people of California, the farms in California have to live by the same rules as all the ones that are importing. So the Supreme Court says you're good.
Yeah. In the National Pork Producers versus Ross, the Supreme Court explicitly ruled California can regulate in-state sales of animal products even when doing so affects out-of-state producers. The court rejected a similar dormant commerce clause challenge. This decision bolsters California's authority to enact standards like Prop 12.
Okay, so then why does Donald Trump all of a sudden wake up and want to sue California? Is it another frivolous
flood the zone? Flood the zone.
It's got to be that, right? He's so frivolous. It's one of those things. So recently, just a couple days ago, something rocked the world where CBS ended up paying, like he was suing CBS for I think $20 billion, some ultimate crazy number, because they edited, just like they always do, a CBS 60 Minutes episode with Kamala Harris during the election. They sued in Texas because they thought they could win, but they also won Texas. So it's really hard to prove that that 60 Minutes episode hurt him at all. But CBS knows that if they allow it to keep going, their merger won't go through with the SEC and the FCC. Okay, so in order to get it done, they decided to pay Donald Trump, settle, and pay him $16 million, which is a funny number. It's the exact number that ABC settled for when he filed another frivolous lawsuit against George Stephanopoulos. So now it seems to be, and everyone, all legal experts that I've heard about this said that these are just frivolous lawsuits. There's no way he could have won either of them, but they settled for $16 million and just handed him over the money.
Suing works, I guess.
Suing works, and Donald Trump knows that.
We incentivize people like Donald Trump. Yeah.
And so the flood the zone thing, it didn't matter to him that he was going to lose. He just wanted to own the libs and own CBS and threaten everybody else. If you write or do a report or any kind of reporting that's negative to me, I'm going to sue you for $20 billion. It was billions of dollars he was suing for. Yeah. And I know it's frivolous, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to ruin your life by suing you. And I think that's what this is. He just wants to crap on California. That's it.
Yep. And it doesn't matter that the EPI governs labeling, packaging, and safety, not animal confinement or production methods. So this is a misapplication of the preemption doctrine. And courts may find that Prop 12 governs animal welfare, not the quality or condition of eggs as narrowly defined under EPIA. So,
which would be great. I mean, maybe we could, I don't know, I think California will win either way. And I think, even though everyone knows I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom, but I think Gavin Newsom has enough vim and vigor to stand up and say, oh, fine, let's do some litigation, because he's suing the federal government over and over again too. There's constant lawsuits between California and the feds.
Yeah.
AI makes all that easier, I guess. Solar Punk Vegan Tim says we can solve the problem by just not eating eggs and animals. That would solve like a ton of problems if that were if we all did that. That would
do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, people do weird stuff though. They never thought that people would start eating chickens, and then in 1948, people started eating chickens.
Yeah, well, because the corporations wanted them to, and people, America is a nation of simps, and we will do whatever the corporations tell us to.
Yeah, so a nation of NPCs.
Yeah,
we're a USA NPC. Exactly. You're so right. You're so right.
Yeah,
imagine when they were.
Buzz here is proving us right. Give me a big pork chop. Ziggy's a simp right there. Simp
like that?
And a bootlicker.
How about this one? You can literally live on just eggs. Yeah, but you can literally live on bread. It doesn't matter what you can live on. That doesn't mean you should. Yeah. You'll die if you just eat eggs. It ain't good for you. You shouldn't be eating anybody's eggs. They don't belong to you. But hey, that's a whole other subject. We're talking about FOIA and how the egg industry has been complicit in keeping you from having any other choice.
Yeah, the egg industry wants you to keep eating eggs so they can buy another yacht, and
keep doing it.
Keep forcing us to pay for their new yacht.
We're doing shirt ideas today on FOIA Friday. Nation of Simps. Can we get Dad on a shirt? Maybe I should do Nation of Simps. You don't like FOIA is better than trolling? Nation of Simps.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like you might be pro simp on that one. I don't know if that'd be good, but I like where your head's at though. So Donald Trump is suing California again, frivolous lawsuit again because of Prop 12, even though the Supreme Court has already decided in favor of California.
Yeah. I asked AI what the likelihood of success of the lawsuit was, and it said low, given the Supreme Court's 2023 decision upholding Prop 12. God, that amicus brief that we wrote is really paying dividends. I'll just say that. And the narrow scope of federal preemption under EPIA, this lawsuit is unlikely to succeed. Sorry. While the Trump DOJ has crafted a novel argument reframing animal welfare laws as food quality standards, courts are expected to respect state sovereignty under the 10th Amendment, defer to California voter-backed and scientifically supported interests in public health and ethics, and reject overbroad interpretations of EPIA preemption.
You know, my favorite thing about that too is that like reject. Okay, the Californians voted on it. What's really funny is every time I bring up the concentration camps, people in my chat will go, "But that's what we voted for." It's like, first of all, I don't think you voted for I don't think you voted for children being ripped from their mother's arms. But if you did,
okay. We didn't vote for putting U.S. citizens in concentration camps.
No,
sorry,
I didn't. I did not vote for that, but a lot of people say they did. Okay, well, the Californians voted for Prop 12. It passed. Why is Donald Trump obsessed with undermining the people? They're undermining the will of the people over and over and over again. And anytime the people express their will through protest, through their freedom of speech, you subdue that. You hammer them down. So why is Donald Trump and this MAGA movement, they're so afraid of the people, and they'll clutch their pearls and cry about it anytime someone talks, even expresses a dissenting opinion. But
because of the success of the dystopian intersectionality of the Trump administration.
Dystopian intersectionality. I love it.
So
put that on a shirt.
What do we FOIA about related to this?
Related to this, I did a FOIA about.
I'm brainstorming here. So basically, I think potential FOIA targets might be the USDA Agriculture Marketing Service, because we want to see how the egg industry groups and other groups lobbied to coordinate with the Trump administration to bring about this lawsuit. So I'm looking forward to that. The DOJ Civil Division might be a good FOIA target. The White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs.
Oh, that would be kind of fun. OMB, maybe, you think? I think OMB, because they've got to be doing it to find out what the fiscal impact of Prop 12 is.
Yeah.
Although it's Brooke, right? Brooke Rollins. It all comes back to her.
Yeah, we could FOIA Brooke Rollins. Although, yeah, that might be actually. I haven't FOIA'd Brooke Rollins' communications, and I know it'll take a while to get back, but we're planting seeds for the future. You never know when we might find a MLK, style deal.
You never know. I mean, Brooke Rollins, or I was thinking even someone lower down the totem pole, like during the USDA press conference this week on Wednesday, they showed Sarah Huckabee Sanders and then the coach guy from Bama, Coach Alabama.
Oh yeah, he was great.
He was great, right? I guarantee you that dude emails those old fogies. They always do. I guarantee you that guy's emailed with USDA and the pork board and these guys, I forget the dude's name, Tom, White House counsel. The White House counsel, that guy, he knew too much about Smithfield, and he was the one who kept on bringing up Smithfield and JBS and how much he hated them. I want to FOIA him to see what, but those are the same people that will be talking about this, I think, don't you?
Yeah, maybe.
Because they talked about Prop 12. They talked about the EATS Act.
Yeah. Let's see if we can FOIA their comms and see. But I'm looking for, I think, all communications between DOJ officials, USDA staff, and any representatives of the United Egg Producers, American Farm Bureau Federation, National Association of Egg Farmers, North American Meat Institute, California Poultry Federation, including all references to Prop 12, AB 1437, California egg law, egg prices, animal confinement, supremacy clause lawsuit. That I don't know if that's a great one, but anything related to Gavin Newsom, any message of Gavin Newsom might be interesting too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's interacting with them in order to try to make what's what. I like that idea, Gavin. I think if we FOIA these governors because they are interacting with these federal level organizations, right? These institutions. I think we could definitely get something. I think that'd be great. I'd love that. Yeah.
So there's maybe this USDA Economic Research Service, Office of the Chief Economist, DOJ, Civil Division, all documents, reports, memos, studied, cited, consulted, or produced by the Department of Justice or USDA related to the economic impact of California's Proposition 12, AB 1437 on egg prices. Although, do you think they actually did any research? No. I don't think they did.
No,
so I think that might not. I just think any mention of Prop 12 or AB 1437 or egg prices might be good.
Why do they think that Prop 12 affected egg prices? Why do they? Because we were the ones who got screwed, right? California lost all their. Yeah, so California they're the number one egg producer, California, and they lost the highest number of chickens. But how does that and it's animal welfare that was the problem? I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting. I could see that there could be an argument even. I want to know, actually, are cage-free facilities more likely to be infected with bird flu? I think that would be interesting. I'm just listening to basically egg industry podcasts talk about facilities that have transitioned to cage-free and just how much more chaotic it is in these facilities because the birds there's a lot of dust and a lot of commotion, and
they have different hierarchies with their little crews. Like you have three pecking order of 3, and you have different packs of chickens and stuff. One of the egg producer podcasts we listen to, they've got like little, because it's not like it's one big flock of chickens. These chickens kind of organize themselves as animals do, with their own little politics, like because they're highly social animals. They have hierarchies and stuff.
They're creating unions, if you will.
They're unionizing like in Chicken Run.
Anytime they organize, it causes issues with the people in charge.
Someone says cage-free is BS just to charge more for eggs. I mean, basically. But I mean, all those welfare things to me are BS. I think you should go egg-free if you actually care. If you care about animals, then you should go ahead and do that. We're not really talking about eggs. We're really talking about government corruption. It's something that we should all care about. Buzz, thank you for being here. Thank you for the engagement. Someone said that. Oh man, someone said this is high calorie women and low testosterone men, and I always like that because like I really think of testosterone when it comes to helping people and kind of being out there and competing and standing up to the power structures. And I don't think anyone looks at Crystal and thinks that she's a high calorie woman. So I don't know what you're talking
I'm hella
about.
swole, so
you are hella swole,
maybe that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's it. You're high calorie. I don't know.
Work out a lot. Need to eat those calories to get hella buff. So
you do get hella buff for sure, man. Absolutely. I always think that's funny. They always come out with that, but I think Crystal and I are pretty healthy people, and neither of us both of us are egg free. So don't let that be the stumbling block for you if you want to stand up to the corporate overlords and your government bosses. If you want to stop being a bootlicker, don't let health be the thing that scares you. Don't be scared. Don't be a crybaby. So jacked, Dr. Heath, for sure. Dr. Heath is jacked. Way to go. She's
and I get my protein from animal-free sources. So,
she's a member of multiple gyms and gets her protein from non-animal protein, animal-free What did you say? Animal-free sources.
Animal-free sources. Yeah.
So I like that. So Who are you? Jesus, I thought I was the cursor. You're cursing like
sorry,
a sailor
we should curse on our honors channel. This is bad. I'm sorry.
It's also going to
things are getting unhinged.
It's going to a few channels. So I mean,
yeah.
Hey, Crystal. So which one are you going to FOIA first? I guess is the question for FOIA Friday.
USDA Agriculture Marketing Service is my go-to. I want to see what the pork board is saying about this whole thing. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely
what I'm looking for. They do. They do mention this Purdue undergrad paper, Ming Kong Z, and I kind of want to see what they're talking about with those studies. I guess those are some economics studies, maybe. So, yeah, I look forward to that.
I don't know what Ming Kong Z is, but it sounds like fun.
Yeah, maybe one of the papers cited in the lawsuit. So look at what papers are cited and things are cited in a lawsuit and add those to my FOIA request. So
I like it. I am on the Jim Costa train. I am Jim Costa. It's really funny because people think I have like I think it's great too because he's a Democrat and I don't like Democrats. I don't like Republicans. Anyone who is colluding with organizations like Cargill, and I don't like corruption. So, but Jim Costa is the representative who represents Tulare area where there are lots of CAFOs and egg producers and dairies and feedlots and all this stuff. And he has taken more money than any other representative. So I went ahead and I sent the FOIA for the USDA to find out his correspondence. I wanted his comms with the egg board, the pork board, and these other organizations because he's gotten over $450,000 from them. He's clearly talking to them. So I would like to know what he's talking about. What's he getting? What are they getting for it?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Didn't you used to work at Cargill? No, never worked at Cargill, everybody. Thank you. And so
who's he asking that to? Maybe somebody else in the chat worked at Cargill.
Did someone in the chat work at Cargill? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Maybe you got an email address that I can FOIA. Yeah. If you ever worked at Cargill, hook a brother up. I'd love to know. So I'm going to do that. So I already did that. I already sent that one, the FOIA request for Jim Costa, but it doesn't stop there. I'm not going to stop digging. I'm also sending one to the FDA. I want all correspondence, including emails, letters, memos, and phone calls and call summaries between any FDA employee or official and Congressman Jim Costa from California's 21st district from 2019 to now. I wanted to reference anything referencing animal agriculture, dairy or meat production, animal-derived food products, foodborne illness outbreaks connected to animal products, labeling or marketing of animal-free or cell-based protein, inspections of facilities processing meat, eggs, or dairy, food safety regulations affecting animal agriculture, oversight and of antimicrobial or hormone use in food animals. That's what I want. I want visitor logs, meeting agendas, calendar entries, briefing documents, memos, preparatory material. That's what I want. I asked for a fee waiver. I'm hoping that it turns up something. I hope the FDA gives me something. Got to keep digging.
Yeah, keep doing it. Well, this is what I got back from one of my FOIAs recently. This is from the USDA Agriculture Marketing Service. And unfortunately, it came up empty-handed. I had asked for all communications and attachments from May 1st through 2025 to present, which honestly isn't a very long timeline. So it was about a month and a half because it was received on June 16th. Anything mentioning ICE raids, FBI, and or immigration sent to or from these specific people from the pork board. And I'm glad that I got it back relatively quickly. It's,
yeah, you did.
Less than a month later. So that's promising. And I think I'm going to ask for maybe a broader range, broader time frame. Maybe in the past, add a few more words and see what we get in the future. So, this is good fodder for future FOIA requests. But yeah, sadly, came up empty-handed on this one.
But
you know.
But at least you got nothing ventured, nothing gained. You got to go out there and, I mean, not every FOIA request. I mean, that's why we do it. We need to hold each other accountable and keep the spirit alive. I mean, I'm sure that they filed a ton of FOIA requests before they found out that Martin Luther King, MLK, and all these other Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Martin Luther King and MLK, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they were under surveillance. I mean, I'm sure that wasn't the first FOIA request they did. They had to keep doing it, right?
Yeah. And this is, I came up somewhat empty-handed, although it's promising on this next FOIA request that I did. And this FOIA request is related to this Fort Collins Animal Research Lab that's cited for 11 federal animal welfare violations. And I just like to go through what happened at this lab, because this is sort of based on something that, when Our Honor was founded, we had a veterinarian reach out to us and share with us her story of working at this lab. And she was afraid to share her story with her name attached to it. So it's one of the stories that is on Our Honor's front page. And it's from an anonymous veterinarian. And she was thankful that this place is finally being exposed. But this Fort Collins Animal Research Lab has been cited for 11 federal animal welfare violations.
What?
Red Beast Enterprises, also known as High Quality Research, in a great gaslighting name, in East Fort Collins, was inspected by the U.S. Department of Agriculture in February. The inspection revealed some of the animals were kept in unsafe enclosures and several instances of inadequate veterinary care, according to the report. Surgical records for cats and dogs included multiple debarking procedures, lacked any references to the use of anesthesia. Routine medical care records for several animals were also missing or incomplete for months at a time, and preventative care like flea and heartworm monitoring was not being done. Many animals diagnosed with a medical condition or exhibiting symptoms received delayed care or no care at all, according to a report. Some of the animals were days or weeks between diagnosis or the first appearance of symptoms to when they received treatment. Inspectors also observed animals that were visibly sick but not being diagnosed and were not being treated. And animals were kept in enclosures that had torn caging, leaving multiple sharp and jagged edges where they could get injured, according to the report. Food receptacles were contaminated with feces and shavings used for bedding mixed in, and inspectors reported seeing a dog trying to eat bites of food around the other items that were mixed in. Jesus. And the thing is, I've gotten a word from people at Colorado State University that Colorado State uses dogs from this facility. And this
uses them for more experiments.
Yeah, uses them for experiments. CSU spokesperson Tia Kennedy denied the university's current or continued involvement with the lab. In an email statement, Kennedy said the university has not worked with them for more than 2 years. But I have insider information that they have, in fact.
Tiana's been lying.
So I did an open records request of Colorado State University of several individuals who I have suspicion were possibly talking about Red Beast or high quality research, dated between January 1st and May 31st, 2025. And I got back this document. Let's see if I can pull it up here, from my records request, which Colorado State has an interesting system. I had to fax this in, did not get a response back, and then I called and sent an email, and then finally got this response back. And they are demanding me pay $1,127.50 to continue this project, because it would basically involve, they believe, 27.5 hours, which is half the estimated time, to get these records from these several individuals that I wanted records from. I don't think it would take that long, but here's the thing. Our live streams are now getting thousands and thousands of views.
Yeah.
If each of you gave $1, we could easily file all the FOIAs they want. And you know that they're just, wanting us to pay in order, because they're hoping we're going to just not.
Right. They're hoping that you just shut up and go away. Right.
So, please, if we had a big stack of cash, if each of you gave $1 or maybe $5, maybe some of you think this is like really important work, gave us $10, we could file all the FOIAs we want, get all of this stuff. And what might we find? It could be a huge, I think we'll find a lot.
I mean, judging by the way these guys have done their business, it makes me think that we'll find a lot. I mean, did you see the undercover footage already from this place taken in February?
I haven't. Do you want to show some of it?
Yeah, I'll show it. It's not as gruesome, but I mean, it kind of shows what people were talking about. Here we are, 100 beagles at this lab. This is Red Beast. Why do they call it Red Beast? It's a horrible. When you say dogs,
or high quality research is the other name. High
quality research, Red Beast. Either way.
Yeah.
This beagle's name was Mantis, and for 3 years he was imprisoned at a contract laboratory where animals are dosed with experimental substances or subjected to other forms of torment for any client willing to pay the price. Deprived of comfort and adequate care, Mantis spent much of his time constantly pacing in circles inside a barren kennel. A PETA undercover investigator uncovered the plight of more than 100 beagles and dozens of cats at this lab for hire, all confined in conditions of severe deprivation, without even a bed or blanket to offer the smallest measure of comfort. Some dogs paced and ran in endless circles, desperately trying to cope with the stress.
And it's funny. I see stuff like this, Crystal, and I think about all the people in the chat who are always talking about how they hate chickens and they want to eat chickens. They don't care. They say like cry more and all this stuff. And I wonder, are they really? Is this what they envision? This is what they're okay with. This is what they co-sign on. This is what they're okay with.
Yeah.
Like it's. And if a dog has this much space, think about what a chicken looks like in a tinier cage, A chicken's almost as big as this dog.
In crushing frustration of their intensive confinement. Listen to the head of the lab dismiss the dog's frantic behavior.
They're just crazy and they do it all the time. It's kind of a stress type of a thing with them. We've had moments that will do that, and to the point where there's basically nobody left in their pen because it's all skipped out.
Deprived of mental stimulation and any opportunity to spend even 1 second outside, the frustrated dogs barked without let up.
So there's the thing too, Crystal. I'm always thinking like, I'm sympathetic to the people who run these places as victims as well, and they're just doing their job. They're doing something they've been brainwashed into thinking that's difficult but necessary and all that stuff we've talked about in the past. But then they say stuff like that makes me think, that dude knows what he's doing is wrong. Like he's talking about how he's making animals go crazy. Am I allowed to hold that man responsible? I mean, is personal accountability completely eradicated because of the existence of an institution? This is something.
Here's the thing. The second you attack any of these people, then they become victims. And then the narrative gets lost. Then it's all about, this poor guy. I don't know what'll work. But I just
work. Work. No one knows, right? But I guess, like theoretically, and I know that we only have a few minutes left on this because this is all about FOIA, but like there's some ethical underlying stuff, like philosophically, I feel like we need to spend more time on because. I'm on the same page as you are with you're right, whether it works or not, attacking them. I'm not saying we should attack them. That's not what I'm saying. But like personal accountability has to be something that
I think what PETA did, just say what they say with no judgment. I think just flatly showing this. I don't think you need to show their face.
No, they blurred it out. Yeah, they blurred it out.
Yeah. And I think what PETA did here was great. So, bravo, PETA once again doing the Lord's work here.
Doing the Lord's work. Well, I think a lot of times this might have been a PETA investigator. That's what they said it was a PETA undercover. But a lot of times if we have whistleblowers, they feel safe going to PETA because they know they're going to be respectful and so. And I think that's why PETA
and whistleblowers came to us too. They weren't, and actually some of the whistleblowers were like, I am still trying to work in the industry. I can't be public about this.
Yeah.
And we're like, I get it. Fine. Yeah. And when this PETA story came out, they're like, this is great. I'm so glad that this industry is, being addressed. This company is being addressed right now. But they weren't part of that story.
Yeah.
I hope one day those people who were whistleblowers and felt comfortable coming to us will realize that their story is really important. They have enough colleagues who respect them that if they were to come out and say like, I worked for that company and let me tell you, it was bad. They're not going to suffer any backlash or retaliation and lost opportunities for saying, yeah, they worked there. It was bad. And what PETA is doing is really good. But right now, so what was that? Somebody asking you what lab?
What lab is it? Thanador's? No, that wasn't Thanador's. That was
Red Beast, high quality research.
Yeah,
in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah. And I saw somebody saying like, well, life eats life, and which is a great Joe Rogan quote. I just saw someone say that in the chat. It doesn't matter if it's plant or animal, but it's like, okay, well, this is exactly what I'm sure people think that about these beagles. This life is life. Life eats life. Doesn't matter. So we could do this to plants. So we could do it to beagles. Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. For some reason, Joe Rogan feels the need to shoot his animals in hopefully a quick and painless way. I think he would feel bad if the elk ran away, limping and hurting for days,
screaming and yelling.
He views it as, so what is our responsibility? Can we do whatever we want to animals because life eats life? I think there's lines that we draw. And what are those lines that we draw? Or is it just like we're the top of the food chain, so therefore we can cause as much suffering as possible? And even I personally believe that even if it's completely humane, even if it's just lights out, even if we can breed these animals so that they do not suffer at all and experience only bliss, I think that's still wrong to exploit.
If they did that, would that be liberation? I don't think that's liberation. I'm for all liberation. And I think that you're right. We have to know we have to determine where we want to draw those lines, right? Now, I think that tells others what kind of person you are, where you draw that line. That's kind of, I think we have an obligation to, as human beings who take responsibility for our actions, we have to draw those lines. It's our necessary function of our humanity, but that's what tells people what kind of human you are. That's what it is. And if you want to quote Joe Rogan, like props here, just quotes Joe Rogan, that's the kind of person you are. You could be the type of person, you could be whoever you endeavor to be. And I think that's important to remember. We're all work in progress, and none of us are perfect or superior. It's only a couple of minutes long, and we only have a couple minutes left. You want to just see if there's anything else?
You can play it.
Making the kennels deafeningly loud. In a crude attempt to debark the dogs strictly for human convenience, the lab stepped with a sharp tool down their throats and severed their vocal cords.
Oh my God!
Any pain relief following this
I used to work at a vet office where an RVT would do that.
Oh my
Although
God.
I think she did it while they were under anesthesia, though. But
they just shoved it down her face. Oh my God!
This RVT used to breed corgis, and she lived in a urban area, and she would debark them. And she actually showed her corgis at Westminster and stuff like that. But she would do all of the dentals at the clinic, but she would debark the dogs.
Well, life eats life, right? If I pick a strawberry, it's the same as devocalizing a dog, isn't it? Isn't that the same thing?
I mean, I became a veterinarian because human beings are capable of actually curing and helping other species. And so I became a veterinarian to do that, to maximize my human potential by helping others. No other species can perform surgery and medicine create medications to relieve the suffering of other animals.
Well, ants perform surgery, we found out now.
That's cool. So are we better than ants?
Right. That's the argument, right? And ants have been known to amputate and perform surgery on other ants, cut off their legs in order to save the host. Like if they have an infection on their leg, cut the leg off.
That's awesome.
So that they can survive. It's pretty crazy, right? Like we think we're the only ones.
Yeah.
But we're not.
So no other us and humans and ants, we can do that. But no other species can mass confine animals and cause as much suffering on other animals as humans can. So
we have
can
technology
do both.
and ability, right? We have language. Yeah, I'm totally agreeing.
Why are we choosing to maximize suffering instead of maximize happiness when we have the ability to do both? I'm just asking that question.
Because of culture of dominance and domination. Over and over again, we see cultures with higher levels of technology going and killing the ones who have less technology. Because we can. Domination, a culture of domination. It's rape culture. And if you're for
Can I recommend a good pet insurance? I recommend Trupanion. That's what my dog insurance is. So I recommend Trupanion. Get it done and keep paying for it, because the second you stop pet insurance, your animal will get sick.
I think we just found out our next sponsor, our first sponsor for this show is going to be Trupanion.
Please sponsor us.
And Flagell.
I love your work.
Just joking. Flagell's the only vet company. Sorry, Flagell's the only company.
Why do you have to be careful when handling metronidazole? Because it's Flagell.
It's Flagell. That's one of my favorite vet jokes. Thank you for telling it. You telling it is even better than me telling it.
For procedure twice.
I think still throw scar tissue back and then tighten up your back.
Scar tissue, and then it tightens up their throat.
Crowded rooms and small crates were also desperate for human attention. Many of them had chronic watery eye discharge, but received no care for it. The young beagle Keegan suffered from an ulcerated eye. The lab's vet admitted that an ulcer like that would be agonizing to a human, but failed to prescribe Keegan any pain relief.
If you have an ulcer, you'd be grinding on the floor in pain.
This dog, App, limped and held up his back legs, but each time workers reported his obvious discomfort, the lab's vet did nothing to alleviate the pain. 11-year-old Beagle's doctor and Bo suffered from numerous health problems, including chronic neck pain, difficulty walking, and thyroid disease. But workers said the dogs would never be allowed to leave the lab for adoption. Rather than allowing PETA's investigator to give the pair a loving home, the lab warehoused Docker and Bo, robbing them of the opportunity to enjoy a home for even the few months they have left on Earth.
First of all, why do you want to adopt them? It's pretty elderly. Since you have to learn that you cannot save them all, you cannot take them all home. We all have one.
You have to learn you can't save them all, you can't take them all home.
Yeah, that's the reality that we live in right now.
You can't.
And that's just kind of the, we're doing the best we can in this situation.
How do people watch that? They don't get angry. I don't get. Are people such bootlickers and simps that they don't feel anything? Nothing. Man.
They just think, well, imagine what the animals experience out there in nature. I can tell you, I spend a lot of time out in nature. The animals out there are much happier.
They are. I think they're happier. I think the wild animals are happier. Jack says, Eric says he likes me better when I'm not screaming at conservatives. I only scream at MAGA. I love conservatives. It's MAGA that I don't like. I'm sorry, everybody. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bigotry allows people to ignore the most evil stuff, says Bible Dumb Podcast. I mean, this is pretty evil stuff. This stuff ripping dogs' vocal cords and stuff. All right, I told you it wasn't that gruesome, but the stuff that they say is pretty nasty. Just I got at 1.5 speed, just a minute left.
I mean, first of all, they
not working.
They will just destroy a carpet. They'll destroy the hardware. They're almost 11 years old. So
he's got a veterinarian logo. He's got the veterinary logo on him.
House training is in the cars.
Minx was 14 years old, the oldest animal in the lab. Like Bo and Docker, he and other cats were stored like old furniture so that a lab client could occasionally collect their blood. Cats and dogs, many of them elderly, are still suffering mightily inside this nightmare of a laboratory, denied adequate veterinary care and everything else that would make their lives worth living. Please visit PETA.org today to learn how you can help these animals and prevent more from ending up in this hellhole.
There you go. Not bad. So you're gonna have a new FOIA about them. I love it. Let's do it. Sounds great.
Well, we have a FOIA. We just need money. If we want to find out what CSU is saying about Red Beast and about high quality research, we need money, and we need, what are they asking for?
$1,000. We need $1,000, everybody. Please put
$1,127. Literally, if half of you gave $1, we would have this funded. So you can go to ouronor.org/donate to donate, or you can just Venmo at Our Honor. And your donation is tax deductible because we are a 501c3. You have our EIN and everything. So please, I'm going to put it in the chat.
ouronor.org/donate. Please. We're trying to raise money to do these FOIAs. That would be tremendously helpful. And we would, and it's going directly to this one about these, about Red Beast and,
yeah. Venmo at Our Honor to please help us, and find out what's going on with Red Beast and high quality research. And if CSU is talking about them, see what kind of research they're doing.
Fly Sensi says she's donating now. Thank you, Sensi. You're amazing. Long time subscriber. I met Sensi in real life. What a gem. Thank you so much, Sensi. Well, that's FOIA Friday. If you guys are into FOIAs and you want to take part in exercising your rights to the freedom of information in America, then you should try to get into our FOIA group. We have a FOIA signal chat. You can email at info@ouronor.org and we'll add you to the chat. But it comes with an obligation. You have to file some FOIA. You got to do some FOIA requests. Not all of them cost $1,000. Most of them are free, and we'll help you. We'll help you do them. We'll brainstorm ideas. Let's do it together. We need an army of people digging around in order to uncover the corruption and collusion in our government with these corporations, so that maybe we can wake up some people from being such NPCs for these and Sims for the corporations. Right, Crystal?
Yeah. And I just put in the chat our link to our big FOIA rabbit hole. That's where all of our new FOIA documents have come in. So it's really great because you can just copy and paste some of our old FOIA requests and make your own. But you can see what we've already done. The newest ones are at the bottom of the page. And it's a fun time. There's so many documents there. You can look at all of them. And
every time I do it, I end up reading a lot and trying to suss it out. I've even taken some and gotten AI to tell me what it says. That's kind of cool. I think from what's really exciting about FOIA and today is that using free AI tools, it'll help you write the FOIAs. And then once you get this kind of massive amount of information, sometimes you can take that and feed it to the AI and it'll tell you the interesting stuff about it, what to look for and where to go and what pages and all that stuff. So I love it. I end up spending too much time on it, but I like it.
Yeah. Let me real quick, let me just scroll through the FOIA page. I'm going to have to remove your thing from the stage. And I'm going to add another one. I want to say
thanks to Prop. While you're doing that, I want to say thanks to Props, who says, screw Joe Rogan and put $10 in the pot to support the channel. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
Props. Appreciate that. I'm with you.
Share screen, down the rabbit hole. So this is our rabbit hole page. And you can see all of the FOIA. You can see Sia Johnson presenting on the depopulation guidelines. You can see Patrick Webb when the POD guidance will be released, and the chairs of the W working groups get to see a preview of the final product before that time frame.
Well, you can see Johnson's an important name to remember. You said Sia Johnson, like everyone knows who Sia Johnson is. And
you should at this point.
Well, yeah, everyone should know who Sia Johnson is.
She is the director of the ABMA's Animal Welfare Division.
Yeah,
and if you read through these documents,
DeVille.
Who was the one to greenlight BSD? All along, we thought it was the pork board, but no, it was actually Sia Johnson the whole time.
And
really
shut
green
down
lighting this whole thing.
Ventilation shut down where they kill animals by heat stroke.
Yep.
Nasty business.
So much stuff here. It's like we're just scrolling and there's just more and more. So go take a look at the corruption and the documents that we have, and it's a really good time. Get some ideas.
And be inspired to do your own FOIAs. And you can email me at info@ourhonor.org, and we'll add you to the FOIA Friday group. We have a signal chat for all the FOIA masters out there. You can
even join our H5N1 signal chat here. Oh, I guess we just have an open link here where you can just feel freely join if you wanted to. And you can fill out this form to join our FOIA team. So yeah, there you go.
On the FOIA Friday, on the FOIA rabbit hole. Cool. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the FOIA Friday. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone for being so active in the chat. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you are subscribed to me and not Crystal yet, please just jump on over to Crystal's YouTube and subscribe there. If you are on Twitter and you want to support the channels, go to YouTube and support Crystal Heath over there, or me, Skyjack Morgan. I'm always looking for subscribers too, and I appreciate you being part of this community to help stick it to the mainstream and ask questions. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Let's get out of here, huh? Friday.